Hey guys, how's it going today? Welcome to my channel. My name is Papa Bear, and here we're going to be playing with Papa Bear. So I hope you're all ready to go. We're playing some Shogun 2 Total War today, and yeah, this is actually my first video. So I figured after a long while of waiting and trying to get everything together, I would put out my first YouTube video. So yeah, let's go right into it. I'll do a little bit of talking about myself as we're loading up the game. I'm in my 20s, and I am, well, I'm a college student taking time off. I've wanted to get into the YouTube scene for quite a little while. I've always enjoyed making videos. Took a couple years of video making in high school, broadcast classes, stuff like that. But it never really quite developed. I never really had the money to get into it, but I've got a job, and I figured, hey, why not go out, buy myself a nice little microphone, get some good recording software, and yeah, go from there. So playing Shogun 2 Total War, which probably my favorite PC game right now. I'm mainly a PC gamer, although I do enjoy Xbox 360 games, which I might be bringing to you sometime soon. Not sure about the Xbox One. To any people out there, we're going to pause it real quick just so we don't miss anything. For those of you that know Shogun 2 Total War, it's a great game. I think it's one of my favorites in the Total War series. Creative Assembly has done a wonderful job with all of them. For those of you that don't know Shogun 2 Total War, it's set in the 16th century of Japan, and yeah, so this is the multiplayer. Basically, if you don't know, Avatar Conquest, you have your little general right here. Let me get in there. So you create your general. This is Stevie G. He's probably my favorite footballer. I'm a pretty big soccer fan from America, and I'm a Liverpool supporter, in case you were wondering or you care anything about soccer. So Steven Gerrard is our general right here. He's got no shoes on because he likes to crack them, and yeah, he's going to be leading our army to glory today, hopefully. Anyways, like I was saying, Avatar Conquest is a game mode where you create your avatar and or general, and yeah, you go around and you conquer different provinces on the map of Japan, unlock new units, stuff like that. You play one-on-one, from one-on-one to 4-on-4 battles online, and it's quite a fun time actually. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that any of you watching have somewhat of an idea what an RTS is. So we're going to hop right on in here, and I'm going to show you what my army setup looks like. Right over here in the woods, you can see that I have a Naginata Warrior Monk Cav. These guys are not veterans. Veterans would be units that have played in previous battles with you and have experience and upgrades. As you can see over on the right of that unit card, there's a 0 next to XP progress, so they have no upgrades, but they're a strong unit. Get them into an extended melee fight and they're pretty strong. Over on the left we have my two veteran Yari Cav. Yari Cav, very good against cavalry and very good on the charge, so I like bringing these guys to battles as they can scare an enemy quite greatly. I also have hidden next to them some Naginata attendants. Small unit, very cheap though, and good against cavalry, so always good to help support your cavalry with Naginata attendants. These Cav are unsupported, however. I don't expect for my opponent to see them very soon on. We're going to go ahead and play it. I've got two more Nagi attendants up front, just to slow down any Cav that might come into my archers. I want to keep my archers safe, seeing as I have veteran bow samurai. As you can see, those little green bars are upgrades. I've upgraded their, I believe their reload skill and accuracy, and then I have a retainer which increases their accuracy by 5. These are my Daikyu samurai. Yeah, I've upgraded their reload twice, and I have a +5 to accuracy retainer. Alright, and then right behind them we have got 3 Katana Samurai, all of which are veterans, all of which have upgraded melee attack. This one on the right being the weakest of the 3 actually. Then, right behind them we have Stevie G, as I showed you before, and we have my bulletproof samurai, who are Yari Samurai, running around. Basically these Yari Cav dismounted and pretty bulletproof. They have high armor. They're much like a Naginata Samurai, but in my opinion quite a bit better. They have rapid advance, and they have a very good bonus versus Cav. Alright, so as you can see back here, sneaking up my Naginata Warrior Monk Cav. I don't want my opponent to see them because I want to knock out his Cav. My opponent's army, I'm gonna slow mo it down here real quick. He's got his general over here on the right, and I believe he has 2 Yari cavalry over here as well. In the center he has 2 bow samurai, so I do have a skirmishing advantage, but he's got the archery dojo right here, which will increase his reload speed. Even though I'm playing a negative retainer against him, you can see his bow samurai have a red bar next to their accuracy, meaning it's lower. He's got 2 Yari samurai, so these guys are like a weaker version of my bulletproof samurai. less armor, less melee attack and melee defense, and I think less morale possibly. Then he's got 2 Katana Samurai. This one has increased morale. Probably not the best idea for Katana Samurai, as their strength is attack. Just like these guys, they have +1 attack, but they also have +1 morale. I don't know if that's the smartest upgrade to give them. Got Yari Ashigaru in the middle, almost like these are like spear peasants. So, whereas these would be the upper warrior class, these guys are lower to peasant class, and they're not very strong. They have bad morale, but they're good against cavalry. However, he's got them in the center, and that's not the strongest center to have. So let's get back and let's see what's going on. We'll go ahead and play. Over here on the right, he has dismounted this Yari cavalry to capture the workshop. Workshop increases armor and melee defense for all units, as you can see by global effect on there. You got to dismount your cavalry to capture buildings. You can see the flag going up. So that's going to help him out against my high attack units, and then this archery dojo is going to help him win the bow fight. However, I think I have 2 distinct advantages. I sent my Nagi attendants to capture this morale shrine, so basically what money he spent increasing his troops' morale, I didn't even have to spend, and I have more morale. You can see 13 versus his 11. I have my Daikyu Samurai, who are better than a bow samurai. They have increased range to 175. They do cost more, but I do believe they can be very worth it if you use them smartly. I do not, however, but seeing as he has 2 bow samurai, I did not necessarily expect to win this bow fight. My bow samurai have 150 range, but they're quite strong as well. Both flaming arrows. I've also captured this sword dojo, which will greatly give me an advantage with my Katana Samurai. It's increased all their attack by 2, and they will just shred all of his infantry, really. Heck, even I would be confident that my bulletproof samurai could shred all of his infantry just because of their high melee defense. Alright, so I've got my Yari Cav in the woods here. I'm still moving up this monk cav. I've actually brought up my Daikyu Samurai, and we're going to start up a skirmish fight here. I fired flaming arrows. Not the smartest move. Flaming arrows, if you can, you want to save them for the enemy melee infantry, because archers, they're just not worth it. So we're pulling back out here. As you can see, he's wheeling up with his bow samurai to try and fight back in the melee, or in the skirmish department. I'm just kind of peppering these guys. I've only cut them down 15 men, which I would like to see more casualties through 4 or 5 volleys with Daikyu Samurai, but at the same time, I wasn't really expecting to come out of this skirmish engagement with a huge advantage. I knew that, you know, we were both evenly matched. Even if I did manage to get first shots, he would probably end up evening out this fight, and it would just kind of come down to our melee infantry. So I'm pulling my Nagi attendants that I had screening my army back over. I put them in the woods just to deter this Yari cavalry from coming at me. And I believe I'm going to move this Naginata monk cav up pretty soon, just to push back these Yari cavs so they don't get any ideas about charging my infantry. Swords are very vulnerable to cav charges, and I want to make sure that they don't get beaten up too badly before I get them into melee, as he outnumbers my melee infantry, at least qualitatively. I'm bringing up my Naginata attendants to try to force out his Yari cavalry in these woods, and I'm keeping my bulletproof samurai close by to my main army so that I can support them if need be. Now here's an unfortunate position. He's actually firing at my Daikyu Samurai, but a lot of his arrows going over their heads are hitting this Katana Samurai in the middle, which is actually causing quite a detriment. They've lost 25 men, which isn't good if you don't get them into melee. So I wasn't really aware of that, but then again, this video was recorded quite a long time ago actually, so I mean, we all make mistakes. I played quite a bit of the Fall of the Samurai expansion, for those of you that are aware of that, and this was actually maybe my 5th or 6th game on classic Shogun 2. I've had Fall of the Samurai for about a year, but I had never really played classic Shogun 2 until quite recently. So at this point, with my Daikyu Samurai shattered, I figured it's time to get into melee, because that's the only way that I'm going to be able to win this battle. I start bringing up my attendants and my warrior monk cav along with my attendants over here, just to try to bolster my flanks and keep his cavalry away from me. As you can see, he pulls back both his Yari cav as he is afraid to engage these Nagi attendants. If he were to surround them with his Yari cav, he definitely could have beat them, or if he had dismounted, he could have beat them as well. Now, my opponent just rallied all his troops, which, while it's not a mistake, I think he probably should have inspired them first. As you can see, I inspired this unit, and then I rallied all my troops because I knew they would do well on the charge, and I needed to rally them later on in the battle. I'm pushing him back on this flank, and because he's pulled his Yari Cav back on this flank, I am going to charge his general and try to cut him out of the battle, because my opponent, he really didn't act with his Yari Cav, and that's one point that I want to highlight before this charge happens. If you're going to bring Yari Cav, you got to be more decisive with it. He could have really used it to support his infantry. He has 4 Yari Cav to my 3 Cav. I mean, he could have easily won that battle. But my monks are coming in, as are my Nagi attendants. They're going to shred these guys. They're just going to crash right in there. And then simultaneously, my Yari Cav are smashing into his general's unit. And they're just going to absolutely pummel it, as these Yari Cav do well against Sword Cav. So, what did my opponent do wrong? Well, no offense to my opponent, but he brought the wrong infantry and he put it in the wrong place. Maybe if he had held his center with his Yari Samurai, that we would have lasted longer, but his Yari Eshigaru just got completely hammered. They got into melee and they routed in seconds. My sword infantry cleaned house with his on the flanks, and he didn't use his Yari Samurai to flank well enough. He had me outnumbered in the infantry department, but he didn't use it. Here he charged in his Yari Cav in a desperate attempt to try to salvage the battle, but it was too late. Mine had already swept up his general and routed his melee infantry, and now the rest of his Cav is shattered due to the power bar just completely going into my favor, yellow being me, red being him. It was a good game by my opponent. I think he should have been more decisive with his cavalry, though. I hope you enjoyed this first video. If you liked it, please come back for more. I'll be making plenty of them. I'm basically going to focus this channel around tips and tricks. Yeah, I guess that's really it for now. I'll probably be uploading maybe sometime tomorrow. Like I said, I'm working, I got a job, so whenever I can get these up, I'll try to do that. Again, if you liked it, leave a like, tell your friends about it. Exposure is probably the biggest challenge that I'm going to face, so please, or constructive criticism if you think, hey, you know, do more of this. If you want me to play other games, I can play plenty of other games. I own plenty of other games. Maybe someday I'll move on to Xbox games, but that'll be in the distant future, I'm sure. I can show you the statistics here. So we can go to unit statistics and show you which units of mine got all the kills, and as you can see right here, all these Katana Samurai just completely cut his troops down. I believe this one was my one in the middle, and it still got 113 kills, even though it was down 30 men by the time it got into battle. These Yari Cav, they got straight into the back of his general, his bows, and they took out his 2 Yari Cav that he had on his right. My Daikyus, they were really pulling off a holding action just like my bows. My Monk Cav, they actually did quite well. They provided a strong hammer and anvil that I think moved in my favor quite well, and then Stevie didn't do anything. My Nagi attendants really didn't do anything, and my Bulletproof Samurai actually didn't do anything, surprisingly. But like I said, again, hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I guess I'll see you all later.